Well, here we are again. Say 19 p.m. It's January 21st, 2023. This is the Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, and that'd be me. I have been, unfortunately, listening to the political garbage happening on social media these days, particularly on Facebook and YouTube. TikTokers are for the Gen Zers who want to get attention all for themselves. As for the older generation, we're stuck with whatever we've got, including Elon Musk's nightmare that he just, no, that not just bought, that he had bought, and letting it go for hell. He wants freedom of speech, so now he's letting everybody else on there, including everything that's oozing from beneath the earth, to saturate it. There goes the algorithms. Another one is happening on YouTube that there's a war concerning about David Pakman and his issues regarding everybody else. Apparently, people don't like to go to museums, and books are bad, according to one particular topic he picked up. There's a, and I don't like going after people like this, but I'm going to have to go after him anyway. Candace Owens, her name may be out there and synonymous with Kardashians and anything else like that. I hadn't come across and I hadn't crossed her path either. The only problem is I don't like to deal with people who are having more and more issues regarding education because they think they're better than everything else. Truth of the matter is they're dumber than dog shit, but they make their habit and their money by peddling on people's ignorance left and right. Apparently she may have been a dropout from high school or probably college. If she actually had gone to college, did she actually go to a college that actually taught her things? Or did she drop out? I don't know if she's got any academia credentials to back her up regarding her intelligent quotient, apparently. Now, you probably ask me about the same thing. If you guys seen my videos, you probably think I'm also unintelligent. But I may try to sound like I am. Problem is, I've been dealing with issues all my life regarding people's intelligence, and I try to stay out of people's hairs left and right. But, being as things are these days, and we're dealing with political rhetoric all the damn time, and everybody else mouthing off left and right and telling people how divisive and derided they are, and put the finger and blame on them because they are the divisive and derided, but the ones you're accusing isn't, but they're going to be doing the divisive and deriding because they are elitism. Their ego. That's the only thing regarding elitism is the damn ego going megalomania. I'm listening to people pointing the fingers left and right, trying to show, look how this person is, look how that person is. And the problem is, we're still having problems with our own humanity, or lack of, because we want to show who's superior. It's the megalomania, it's the egomaniac, it's the pride, it's the ignorance, it's the apathetic. Apathy, actually, would be the better term for it. Did I graduate out of high school? No, I called it a prison cell of John F. Kennedy High School, the Los Angeles Unified School District, back in class of 1985 Centurions. Survived 2 years, roughly, over at Pierce College. Had to work full time. I never graduated out of Pierce. I just did 2 years of Pierce College. Woodland Hills, California, Los Angeles Community College District. Between the year of 1985 through 1987. However, I did take off 1 year because of administrators thought my GPA was below anything they recorded. It wasn't exactly what they liked. They gave me an academic year, which meant 2 semesters. during that time, I had to work full time to keep a roof over the head, to keep bills paid, and food in the house. And the job never allowed me to continue with education. Work was it for 30 plus years. I had tried to attend a couple of business colleges. Actually, one business college that tanked. That was right after the '94 quake. It was called Catherine College. And attended an occupational training center out in Winnetka, which was across the street from the College of Pierce. Medical billing and then medical transcription. I liked the billing better than the transcription. Transcription, you had to get a whole collection of books and different topics in the medical field of what you're listening to so you can transcribe it in order to get a report generated for the doctors are asking them. I preferred the billing and coding. It was simpler. I had worked at various temp jobs and a few company jobs. General office, reception, call center. I've worked a few years, actually several years, in Blue Cross of California at one time. I worked about 5 years working over at Walmart. Got disabled after damn near getting killed over at Walmart because of a tire accident. Accident my ass. Supervisor wasn't looking where he was dropping things and damn near killed me on the spot. But nope. You don't get wrongful termination for that one. But you do get workers' compensation. My life in a nutshell. So, one second. Well, I did not want to start screaming and yelling of all the junk coming out of my throat. How's that for gross for you? Last 10 to 15 years, I've been a 24/7 caregiver for my family. When they passed, that was it. Everything else went hell in a handbasket, struggle and survival. But within that past 15 years, I went back to college and still struggling with the classes left and right. I have to. I made a promise to my family and to myself that I'd get to college going. And I would be graduating, even though I may be in the lowest rung of the college. I still have plans of trying to get into the BA or MA, if I'm lucky enough. There was a lot of classes to select, a lot of choices for that one. I fancied myself an English major a long time ago. Because the thing of it is, I valued knowledge and I valued books above everything else. That meant anywhere I went when I was a young kid, all the way up to a 20-something-year-old, there was always a book in the back pocket. It pissed my family off until they got used to the damn thing. But the book was necessary because it kept me away from reality half the time, and it also kept me entertained. It kept my brain working. Libraries are cool. I liked bookstores. They were more fun. Even periodical magazines would have a little bit more information than I would gather. A lot better resources than I would consider the so-called internet. Might as well call it the junk files out there. Because everything we're trying to see out there, we're trying to see if it's knowledge, but it's plugging up and it's becoming more and more fact-checked. We have algorithms running our lives in social media and everywhere else. People don't understand this damn thing. Every time somebody's going to be saying something about a negative thing here, a negative thing there, and they would put it on social media in whatever platform, these people keep forgetting that things like this kind of bite them in the butt. I constantly know that my postings out here will eventually try to bite me in the ass one of these here days. I'm aware of what I say, and I'm aware of what I do. Excuse me. It's called, excuse me. Damn allergies are kicking my ass again. I'm hearing panic in the social media world. I'm hearing it. One side or the other, they're still pointing the fingers at each other, blaming everybody else for their major malfunctions. They're warning how bad things are going to get or have already gotten. If we actually had computers working with the internet access back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, how would it have been? Changing history, changing the course of history even further. By word of mouth, things had changed a great deal regarding a war that should not have happened, but had. And we're still paying the price on that to this day with our veterans. But you don't hear anybody else bitching or grabbing about that on both sides. Except in the case when one particular GOP twerp out in New York decided to ramrod through people left and right of a candidacy that he is going to be their savior and lied through his teeth. And accused by a veteran about stealing money that would have helped his emotional support animal. Now, if it is actually indeed proven and actually made public through the court systems, and if Santos was actually guilty of the situation, what's this telling me is the people who are getting into the GOP know nothing about what honor, integrity, and respect for the job and for the people that they serve. Case in point, look at the case, actually, their so-called fearless leader who is the Speaker of the House, who is in charge of my little neighborhood out here. He comes from Bakersfield area, and people keep swear their fealty to him. The poor saps. He's going to screw them over like he's going to be screwing everybody else over. They deserve it anyway. A bitch and a bellyache to a useless county that doesn't give them any assistance at all. Barely enough. Maybe to take care of some lighting issues that took them years to deal with. A community resource district that keeps taking money out of the people's pockets and barely gives them what they need. Like, let's see, we need another fire station and possibly a sheriff's station would be nice. But we don't get that. We only get one fire department, barely staffed as it is, with an ambulance bay, private company. It barely supports 30,000 people in the town of Roseman. We have to beg, borrow, and well, pilfer, shall I use, from Edwards if we actually need any more services regarding fire. That's what's been happening out here. A town that used to have respect and integrity, and people are still trying to fight for it. They're doing a losing battle at this point. Meanwhile, hearing upon social media with the urgency and panic out there, shall I use the word for it, that everything else is going hell in a handbasket because of one party or both parties are going at each other. You're the one doing this. No, you're the one doing this. You're the one. 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 I'm not going to say I haven't been dabbling in politics. I have been dabbling in politics. Just check the videos out and it'll back me up on that one. And yes, I am liberal minded. but I'm not that crazy enough when it comes down for what's happening on both sides. Now, do I understand about tax and spend? I understand that the money being taxed right out of our paychecks and other sources of income are pooled together and used for other funding options and services needed. Or how about an occasional pilfering here and there? Oh, yes, our tax money is being pilfered by those who complained about their tax monies being pilfered, but they don't want their tax money being pilfered. They want to pilfer somebody else's money. So it's like, I'm going to be reaching over and taking the money out of your damn pocket and telling you you don't want this money. You're not going to have it because it's mine, because I say so. I take the money. You are taxed. You'll probably say I'm the government. No, I'm corporate. I'm private. I just took the money out of your pocket because I can do that. Oh, don't blame me. I've got law enforcement over here. I got laws being made up by other people left and right. And again, this argument and this action also being taken care of. But we have a problem with that, don't we? I think we do. Because now we don't know what the hell's going on anymore. So when I'm hearing these talk show hosts going after each other, when I'm hearing all these social media places just constantly going and saying you have to worry about it. One particular topic that got to my attention was mausoleums and books are bad. Books are for lazy people. I'm smart. I don't need books. According to one guy, it's been being broadcasted on YouTube. And also another woman that I mentioned earlier in this video, that she has said it and had been recorded on YouTube. They could actually check it out on Google. That museums are bad. British Museum, which had been housing collections left and right, are forced to return collections back to the other countries that the items had been taken from. When you have tomb raiders of sorts, archaeology professors or just archaeology nuts, nutheads actually, going out there looking for the big kill and putting them into museums so everyone else can watch it. They're also looking to get their egos fixated. Doing it for knowledge, but they're also doing it for the bucks, left and right. Then a museum would gladly pay them, especially when a museum's hooked up to a university. No, I'm not referring over to the movies or the trilogy or the entire series of the Indiana Jones, but we do have our modern day Indiana Jones out there. But these pieces have been in our museums all over the world. Different countries are trying to claim them, or reclaim them actually. Do they need to be reclaimed? Well, they need to be displayed to people of what they are. If we're talking about ancient mummies, we'd like to know the history of this and what was the story of this particular person that got mummified. What makes them historically relevant? We would have inquiring minds asking for that information. But unfortunately, if people consider books and museums are bad, they shouldn't be funded at all, then I should tell these people that maybe their livelihood shouldn't be funded either. Their stories and their mouth should be silenced. Everyone has the freedom of speech, First Amendment rights. Problem is, they never research further enough into this. If you're going against the government cannot stop you regarding the freedom of speech, except for a few things left and right. If we're talking about hate speech, if we're talking about prejudicial, that's one step you don't do. If you're going to be yelling fire in a movie theater and there's no fire, that's also another thing you don't do. But telling people that they can't go to places to learn things, libraries should be banned, books should be banned. Is this what the far right has gone? Those who call themselves conservative? They don't value knowledge? But they'll talk about wokeism. They'll talk about critical race theory, two things that they will not touch. I never heard of critical race theory throughout the decades until we actually had this crap going on within the past 10 to 20 years. When it was finally coming out of people's mouths, and what the hell were they talking about? Disguised racism? Disguised prejudice? People thought it was history being alienated. I would have to remind people, and I've said this too many times on my channels, that there are many sides, many facets to an item. You're just not looking at everything. The experiment, again, get yourself a crystal, put yourself a white light generated object, and see the color spectrum. Those are your different versions of truth. Everything else makes the white light white. That's not prejudicial. That's science. But we're not talking about skin color. We're not talking about skin color. We're talking about an energy source seen through a crystal prism, and you see the spectrum. Right after a storm, if the sunlight hits the atmosphere just right, you'll see the rainbows. That's science. So, using that logic, how is it discriminatory to talk about the different forms of viewpoints that make up a truth of humanity? Humanity is different. If they want to go biblical at this point over here, why was it written somewhere in the Old Testament talking about the Tower of Babel? And why did God strike down man with individual tongues and customs? It seems to me that the ignorance of man continues on. I'm not an elitist. I'm observing too damn much of how stupid people are becoming these days. And that's not judgmental, that's observation. When I have, in one particular state, people who are very committed to being stupid pass laws to limit education in both K through 12 and the college systems. They don't want any other kind of viewpoints but one structured one. And that's supposed to be the legitimate. Doesn't work. Mankind was supposed to be exploring everything else. But if we're going to be still hiding in the damn caves while life goes on outside the damn caves, don't blame me if the whole damn thing collapses on top of you. You were dumb enough to wait in the damn cave and expect life to continue on in that damn thing, watching the shadows from a fire or from something else and thinking that's real. Boy, that's really dumber than dog shit. Can these people who are against woke and critical race theory tell me something about geology a little bit? About astronomy? Sociology? Psychology? They could try squeezing out an answer concerning about political science, but they still wouldn't know anything about it. However, you put a religious doctrine in front of them, is it the right one for them? I'm listening to too much of this crap going on. Maybe we do deserve to get our asses royally kicked. I mean it. Maybe we actually do need to get humanity and its head out of its ass anyway, collectively. Because individually, we're doing a splendid job of that one. No wonder we stink. We can't smell anything because we already got our own crap in our nose. And thinking that's the only smell in the world? Yeah, I'm a little harsh tonight about it because I'm getting sick and tired of the damn crap. Bad enough I smell my own damn stuff. But when I smell somebody else's, you know what it smells like? So I must have got used to my own damn crap. And I still think it still stinks. It doesn't matter what kind of level of chemicals you got radiating your damn waste, it still stinks. So imagine the waste coming out of your damn brain through your mouth, and then you think it's going to be gospel? Please, give me a break. Give me a break.